a project as CPO, which is a privilege and an honor. And there has been a lot of build up to this. There's been, as some of you may know, there's been a few whispers and a few leaks. So you think to yourself, how can I introduce something where there's already whispers and leaks and ideas? And so instead of drawing it out, I'm just going to say this. We are the global leaders of test-based nutrition. And that's a fact. But what I'm going to do now is show you a little video.
What if you could get a glimpse of your future health based on the life you're living today? Well, now you can. Introducing the latest addition to the Zenzino test-based nutrition strategy. A long-term blood sugar test and lifestyle assessment will put tomorrow's personal state of health on the radar. Based on your current blood sugar levels and answers to the lifestyle questionnaire, we'll perform an overall health assessment and give you personalized recommendations about diet, activities, and exercise. We are not just here to give you the facts. We are part of the solution. It's dynamic. It's empowering. It's the HbA1c test and lifestyle assessment from Zenzino, the pioneers of test-based personalized nutrition.
Just for reference, the guy carrying the surfboard, that's what I'm aiming at. That's where I want to be 10, 15 years from now. So, I want to start by going back to August 2020. And for the first time on Zoom, because that's what the world was like at the time, I met two people who you might know, Orion and Doug. And they wanted to chat to me about what I did and what my background was. And at this point, I was still figuring out what Zenzino was and why they wanted to speak to me. And the conversation quickly went towards type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes and blood sugar tests. And Orion said something in that meeting that made me think this is where I definitely need to be. Because Orion said, everyone knows that pre-diabetes is reversible, 100% reversible. If you have pre-diabetes, we can reverse it, 100%. But no one knows if they've got it. So imagine, this is what Orion said, imagine if we could test everyone and we could tell them so that they could stop it or reverse it and we could actually do something about it. And that was the moment that I thought, this is where I need to be. Because I'd spent over a decade working on national and international strategies for type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes, and everything was just getting worse because no one was making a move in the right direction. And the right direction is always to empower people through information to make better choices. And so, here are some statistics for you to consider. This was the pandemic before the pandemic. And importantly, type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, is a gateway disease. And what that means is that if you get it, it's not about will I develop another condition. It's more about when will I develop my next condition. So by preventing this, by reversing pre-diabetes, we stop a whole host of other factors that could compromise a person's life, health, lifespan, health span. Through this, and when I say we, I'm more mean you, to be honest with you, have the power to make a change in the world that the world desperately needs. And so, we are positioned differently now, very differently. We're working towards concepts. And this, for us, is our next product concept. And this is far more than just a test. But I'm going to say it now, actually. Let's get this out the way, because I know this question will come, and you'll all get asked this question. What makes your test any better than this test? And I found one that was only €3, and I can test myself at home. And ours is an unrivaled, scientifically accurate, reliable, dependable, repeatable test. There is no test better than it in the world. You can quote me on that to any doctor, surgeon, nurse, whoever you want. We have singularly the most reliable test in the world. That's what makes a difference. So when someone does our test, they're going to be armed with facts, not guesswork. Let me just click through. It's a three-dimensional product, though. And here's where we're going to take a delve into deeper matters. Because a test tells you where you're at, okay? It tells you where you're at. It tells you the outcome, really, of the choices you've been making. But where you're going is based on the kind of choices you made yesterday, the choices you'll make today. These are the things that are shaping up what's going to happen in the future. And all of this information is useless unless you do something about it. And so we need to inform, we need to test, we need to inform, we need to educate, and we need to support. And what we've done, and at this point I want to make a comment that this project has been huge. This has consumed us at HQ, and so many people have worked on it. It's my privilege to present it, but by no means is this all me. A ton of hard work has gone into this, and it is unrivaled. We are going to contribute something to this area of health that no national or international health board has achieved to date. We're actually going to lead people towards being able to do something about their condition. I don't know why the clicker's not working. It's not working. There we go. So our three-dimensional test breaks down into this. You find out where you're at, you take the HbA1c test. HbA1c is the scientific term for it. It's important that you know that language. It's important that we use that language, because when we talk to people from that background and you say what the test is, then they'll know what it is as well. But let's also keep it simple. It's a blood sugar test, and it evaluates the amount of sugar in your blood. And this has huge implications. But then we've got a questionnaire, and this is a work of fine design. We have taken a stratified risk questionnaire. We've put together a whole host of health and lifestyle questionnaire factors. We've developed a matrix, a statistical matrix that weights these responses so that we can evaluate where you're at, not just the status, but the risk, so that you can take charge and you can do something about it. Because that's the important part. So we have this, the new page, zenzinotest.com, that you'll be able to access. You'll be able to take your customers, partners, family, friends through, which is a treasure chest of resources. There's been so much gone into this. I assure you, you will be somewhat blown away. In fact, when we did a little bit of a test bed and we shared some of this information, the feedback we got was, wow, there's so much in there. It was a bit overwhelming, but we've made things simple too. Let me go back. So let's start. You measure your blood, you fill in the questionnaires, you send that off, and then you wait for your results. We measure multiple things. We're going to measure your weight. You're going to have to put in some personalized information, because you know nutrition is individualized, health is individualized, the measurement is individualized, and what you need to do will also be individualized. You will get feedback. You will get a score that will be evaluated and weighted for you, sensitive to change over time. We will give you simple feedback so that you can have a quick look, understand it easily, so you only ever have to delve into as much as you want to delve into. But we will also give you really, really detailed feedback, because what we're learning is that people are becoming far more information savvy. People want to understand themselves more. They've learned the language, they've got a greater understanding. And do bear in mind that our partners and our customers range from everything from heads of health to clinical surgeons, all the way through to that person who's working in a high street shop. We have a diverse range of people who want information that's going to make sense to them. And so we've catered for all needs. The personalization part of it comes down to your engagement with the questionnaire, because that gives the context for the blood sugar response. Because the blood sugar on its own, it's what we call a homeostatic mechanism. It's a homeostatic measure. But when we place that in the context, and I don't want to do any scare stories, but you could get a great blood sugar score right now, but when we look at the questionnaire of how you're structuring your life, that might tell a different picture. And if we want to tap the brakes and prevent the crash from happening, it's that information that's going to tell us what we should do and how we can do it better next. And obviously, we want this to function as a tool for you, so that it gets right behind our product range and you can very simply and easily guide people towards products that are going to make a meaningful and measurable difference to those factors that they've given responses to. So it's a straightforward process. Test your blood, fill in a questionnaire, get your individualized results, get guidance, get advice, get continued support, and know exactly where to start with what products are going to work best. We've also developed this because we do want to support people. That's a big part of the change we're going to make. We're going to empower you with information and a way to track the changes you're going to make, that your customers, your partners are going to make. We want to guide you along the way. We're going to have updatable content through the website. We're going to share more and more ideas and information on how to make better changes that are long-lasting changes. This is a complete, holistic package of health that will enable you to press pause on the pandemic that started long before the pandemic. I want you to bear one statistic in mind. Remember this if nothing else. Up until 2002, there was not one single recorded case of a child with type 2 diabetes in the UK. Now they make up almost 15% of all new diagnoses. We need to empower ourselves and our children to live better lives. And we can do that through test-based nutrition.